We would start with the just basic knowledge about Australia. Okay. So anyone have any little bit of knowledge about Australia? Any informations?
Not much, sir.
It's okay, whatever. You can proceed on. Okay, no problem. We'll just take it forward. So as you can see by the screen, we can get the most information from Google. Nothing a big deal on nowadays. So Australia is the largest country by area in the world's sixth largest country. So which also officially is a Commonwealth of Australia. It's mentioned, and it has cities like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and all others. So here is the map. So it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost like 6 states majorly. Victoria, then New South Wales, then Queensland, then South Australia, then Western Australia, then Northern Territories, and then Tasmania. 7 states over there. Right. So what most of the states it's has a different time zones. So there are 3 different time zones over there. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Australian Central Standard Time, and Australian Western Standard Time. Okay. The capital is Canberra. So you can see the time zone that UTC plus 8, 8:45, 9:30, 10, and 10:30, 11. 11 we are not following usually. Mostly we follow the 10 plus 10:30 time zone, which applicable in Adelaide, Sydney, Melbourne, sea of it. So in generally, if we look at the time zone now compared to our Indian time, it is around 5.5 hours now because of daylight savings. How many of you are aware about the daylight saving part? Because it applies in most of the international countries. Any one of you are aware about the daylight saving?
Yes, sir.
Great. Can you please explain whatever you know? Can you please go ahead?
Sir, hello, sir. I'm audible.
Pardon me, no, you are not audible to us.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, it's dependent upon the weather, sir. So they move the clock one or 2 hour forward or behind due to the weather condition.
Forward or backward?
Right.
Yes, correct. So that's now in Australia currently the daylight savings are going on, which applies from 1st October to till 2nd of April. It happens all the time, it happens all the year. Okay, and it goes 1 hour forward. But in fact, yeah, if we talk about in the month of from October to till April, it goes 1 hour forwarded. From April to October, it goes backward. So in generally, is a difference of 4.5 hours with Australian timing when the daylight saving is off, wherein the daylight saving is on at that time is 5.5 hours. So currently we are in the daylight savings period. So that's the reason the difference is 5.5 hours. Now, as you can see, it's 10:56 over there. I'm sorry, over here. It's around 4 o'clock over there. 4:30. My bad. So we are following this Sydney time zone, and Sydney and Melbourne both are following the same time zone. Okay. So every time zone has a differentials. Adelaide it's a 4 hours. Sydney and Melbourne is a 4.5 5 hours. Likewise, it has a differentials. We would be following this plus 11 time offset time zone, so which is a 5.5 hours difference. Now, this is one reason why our shift time get changed, depend on the from these 6 months and every 6 months. Now, the another reason for the changing of the shift time is when we work for business to business plus business to residential. So depend on these two reasons, we change the shift time. So coming back to about Australia, so Victoria is a city. So Victoria state, the capital is Melbourne, and this is where we would be working for our current process. The product which you will be dealing for, that is applicable to the Victoria state as of now. So in future we will work on other process for the other kind of state as well. So Victoria state and city is Melbourne. So nearby state is New South Wales, and Sydney is the capital. On the other side we have a Tasmania, and there is a small sub state called ACT, Australian Capital Territory. There is a small one, and capital is Canberra. Queensland state, city is Brisbane, and South Australia, city is Adelaide. Northern Territory, city capital is Darwin, and Western Australia state, and the capital is Perth. So, more you can scroll by yourself and know slowly about it. Okay. We'll now jump into this. Since all of you are experienced in international industries, we are not going much about the pre-process communication skill training process now, but we would like to hear out little bit from you about these international phonetic alphabets and other communication difference and all others. Okay, so let me stop sharing. So how many of you been aware about with these international phonetical alphabets? I believe all of you.
Yes.
You mean to
Yes, sir.
say Navy call list?
Okay. International phonetical alphabets. I'm talking about, so which
Yeah,
usually most of the time we explain. We use these when you communicate with someone in the overseas, right?
Yeah, you used to call it the Navy call list.
Pardon me, Navy.
We used to call it the Navy call list at IBM.
Okay. Cool. Then we call it as an international phonetical
Yeah,
alphabet. Anyway,
that's
so I would just wanted to hear out from all of you how you abbreviate about your name using the phonetics. Let me start myself. So I need someone ask me to spell out my name. I go with like data, D as in delta, A as in alpha, T as in tango, C as in tango, A as in alpha. A moment, please. Okay, guys. Just to let you know that Luzeno is available now to take it forward to the session. So Dana and Luzeno, just take it forward. And guys, I'll catch you guys soon some other time. So here onwards, Dana and Luzeno will take it over with the thorough instructions and everything. All the best, guys.
okay, sir. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Okay,
Good
Everyone,
morning.
good morning.
sorry, I was a bit late in joining the training due to some health concerns, but yeah, I'm back. Okay, so I was part of the training for a couple of minutes, but not before that. Can I quickly get the names of the trainees that's attending the session today? Or is it in the chat? Let me check. Okay, so we have Bonnie, Kuldeep, Monu, Suraj, and Maria. Diana, do we have any additional joinees besides this 5 people?
Zana, as
Yeah,
of now, it is Suraj, Kuldeep, Manoj, Boni, Mono, and Maria.
Manoj. Okay, so 6 people, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Sanjana and Nikita is trying to join it, but Sanjana is not responding yet. Nikita is trying to see. She is having some problem for login. So Sheetal is taking care of that.
okay, cool. No worries. So we have 6 people. All right, guys. So how is it going so far? How are you guys finding the session till now? Anyone can, let me know.
Yeah, it was good. We just gone to the time zones of Australia and we had intros.
Right. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and let's just do a quick recap and, um, start over. So basically, since most of you, almost every one of you have been into this industry, so we're not going to, talk in details about the pre-process training in terms of, your soft skills, your call handlings, all those things. We will not be, discussing that in details, but we will try to go through the basic information, considering that most of you are new in terms of when I talk about the market, like it's Australian market, Australian campaign. Now you guys have, most of you have worked in the US campaign, if I recall correctly. So US or UK, so it's kind of new. Every country has different, follows different, obviously cultures and different time zones and all those things. So just a little bit of information or basic information regarding, Australia. So we'll start with this. I think that was taking you guys through this. We have in Australia, we have different states. I mean, they have different states, right? The largest city in Australia is Sydney, which is based in North South Wales. So you guys have no different, states. Like Western Australia is one of the state in Australia. The capital is Perth, and the other state is Northern Territory, where the capital for Northern Territory is Darwin, and we have Queensland, where the capital of Queensland is Brisbane, and we have South Australia, where the capital for South Australia, the capital city for South Australia is Adelaide, and we have the New South Wales. Sydney is the capital city of New South Wales. So in fact, Sydney, which is located in New South Wales, is the largest city in all over Australia. Right, and we have the Australian Capital Territory, or ACT in short, where the capital city is Canberra. And finally, we have Victoria, where the capital city is Melbourne. Now, there is another one called Tasmania, which is a very small state in Australia, and the capital city is Hobart. So just for your information, these are the different states located in Australia. Now, the market that within this Australia, different states we will be working for in this market or in this state, which is called the Victoria state, wherein its capital city is Melbourne. We are working in New South Wales and Victoria, but you guys will be majorly trained on the product where we are dealing here in Victoria. Yeah, so these are the different, you don't need to memorize all this, just if you are aware of it, if you know about it, then it's just an FYI, just to differentiate between different states in Australia. So talking about this, Sydney is the largest city in all over Australia, and this is just the basic information about Australia. The national anthem of Australia, the currency used in Australia is Australian dollar. Now these are we have in India, the calling code in India is +91. In Australia it's +61. And 04, normally all the mobile numbers in Australia starts with 04 as the calling code. And for the landline, it's +61, and the landline will always start with either, depending on the states. Like for example, in Victoria, all the landline number starts with 03, and the rest of the 8 or 9 digits, whatever digits it is. And NSW, if you're calling any NSW number, for the landline, it will always start with 02. And likewise, for Queensland is 07. For South Australia, South Australia, it's 08. Yeah, so depending on the different states, we can also, depending on the area code or the starting numbers of the landline number, especially the landline number, we can get to know which which state we are calling. Yeah, so we will be focusing, like I said before, we'll be focusing only in Victoria at the initial stage. So most of in fact, all the mobile numbers, the landline numbers in Victoria will be starting from 03. This is what you need to remember. And irrespective of whatever states it be, the mobile number will always start from 04. Okay, so this is.
And what about the 6-1? You said 6-1, right?
Plus 6-1 is the calling code for Australia. So be it any of the states, the Australian number calling. In India, we have the dialing code is +91, right?
Yeah.
In Australia, it's +61. All right. Are we all good?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is something which is directly related to the process, to what you guys will be doing. So it's always good to remember this part, and the rest of it are just the basic information, which is just good to know information, but nothing related to the process. All right, so moving on. Yeah, this is the Australian flag and time zones. They have Western Australia time zones, Northern Territory, Queensland. These are the short forms of the states that we have talked about. WA is Western Australia, NT, Northern Territory. QLD it stands for Queensland, Southern Territory, North South Wales, Tasmania. So different time zones, which Tata has already taken you guys through the different time zones, but mostly we are focusing. I mean, we only follow on the AEST, which is the Australian Eastern Standard Time. That's what we follow. Now I'm sure, again, coming back to talking about your previous work experiences in a course and industry, there, depending on the countries, unlike India, other countries usually follows, different street names or road, type of streets or road. These are the abbreviations. If most of the time you will find the abbreviations even in the dialer, like when you guys will be calling. So it's important to get yourself familiarized with the abbreviations of different street names. Like for Ellie, it's we use the abbreviation ALLY. Likewise, Arcade Avenue, Boulevard, you'll find all these street types or street names in customers' addresses. Now, if any of you, is someone trying to say something?
Yeah. Could you please enlarge that screen now, that slide, so it's better visible for all of us?
Okay. Is it
No,
better
I
now?
was saying, yeah,
Okay.
that'll be better.
Right. Sorry about
I'll
that.
play the slide.
Okay, so yeah, different. If any of you need the complete file for this, the street abbreviation or the street types, it will be shared with you guys at the end of the training, so that you can keep it for your references. Because sometimes even for us, sometimes it's a little confusing. Like for example, CCT, crescent, for crescent and circuit is CCT, crescent CRES, or sometimes it's a little confusing sometimes, especially with some of the street types. So yeah, but yeah, just this is just an few of the common street types that you'll find in Australia. Yeah. Okay, so now with that being said, we will be mostly moving, into, but before that, let me check this as well. So what is call center? Well, everybody knows what call center is all about. Inbound versus outbound. Okay. So for some of you, for those of you who haven't worked in outbound process before, most of us have worked in inbound process. So you guys clearly know how it works. Excuse me. So let's quickly go through this before we start with the actual process training. Outbound, an outbound call center is one in which call center agents make calls to customers on behalf of a business or a client. It's almost vice versa. The outbound call centers do marketing, telemarketing, debt collection, sales, fundraising, and other work that requires proactive contact with customers. Yeah, so pretty much it. The bottom line is for outbound, we are the ones who reach out to the customer or the clients, and not receive the calls from them. So that's what we need to know. And basically, you'll find this kind of process in an outbound call center. Could be telemarketing, could be debt collection, sales, or fundraising, or any other work that requires proactive contact with the customers. Proactive contact as in the call centers. We have to be, contacting the customers and not vice versa. So different, call center technologies or technical setups that's been, that's required. So you guys will be using VoIP, which is voice over internet protocol. VoIP technology providing voice services over IP connections. So regarding the technical setup, the dialers, what kind of dialer or application that you guys will be using to call the customer, that will be a separate session. The technical session, separate session will be taken through with you guys from the technical team in detail. So we will have a separate technical session towards the end of the training. But just for your information, this will be, these are something which will be used by each one of you once you guys, are ready to start your dialing. Of course, internet, without internet, we can't do the work. All these terms, call center category description. Call center might have a customer service, telesales service, all this few of the processes that every call center industry operates on. So ours will be telesales. Our process will fall under telesales, although we are not going to sell anything directly over the phone. We just, will be doing only lead generation. But yes, at the end of the day, it's a sales process where we are generating the leads for the sales team. So it's a pre-sale or telesales process that we will be dealing with. Skills necessary for call center agent, learning skills, communication, which is the most important thing, customer handling skills, again, another important point that we all need to remember, teamwork and individual capabilities, telephone etiquettes and the ability to respond professionally to clients on the phone, the candidate's ability to use proper grammars, which is very important, vocabulary skills relevant to a call center position, attention to detail and ability to follow specific instructions, basic analytical and telephone problem solving skills, ability to follow specific instructions, telephone program solving skills. So in general, there are a lot of other necessary other skills which are required or which are necessary to call yourself a call center agent. But based on the process, again, we can pick from all this different skills that is required. Now, these are some of the basic etiquettes, telephonic etiquettes that every call center agent follows. Especially this one is most important on hold messages, like when you are trying to put your customer on hold. Well, in our process, this is not really required because we will not be, the process doesn't require us to do a call transfer live call transfer. It has to be done only as a follow-up call or a callback. So, but yes, it's always good to know, extra information which might come handy at any point of time. Can someone just read through this, the on hold messages? Kuldeep, I'll just pick up the names that
Yeah,
I.
sure.
Yeah, can you read the do's, the ones here on this side?
Okay. So match your messages script to your goals. When all is said and done, make sure the final product actually fits the purpose of which is it was designed. This includes an audio scan as well as measurement of customer behavior changes as a result of the messages. And second is create a variety of messages. Change the message every few weeks. If your customer call more often, be sure that change them for more often. Nothing is worse for a frequent caller than hearing the same message call after call. Keep messages short. They refer to the content rather than total length. While the entire message tape can be lengthy, each individual message should convey what it needs in 35 to 40 words. Write script in a conversational style to check this. Read them aloud to yourself and others. Use consistent voicing. The exception to this rule is when you inform customers to expert different voices. Example, when using a queue jockey or employees recordings. Be careful when providing estimated wait times. This can work very well if you're only feeding one queue to one agent group, but it breaks down the virtual agents or multipliers. Call priorities because call can purge to the front of the queue.
Okay, thank you, Kuldeep. Maria, why don't you read the don'ts? Maria, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay. Can you read the ones, the points that's mentioned below the don'ts?
Yes, ma'am. Should I read out all the points from don'ts?
Yes, start from here.
Okay. Ask for identifying information in the wrong place in the menu. For example, if a customer's phone number will only be used if he or she opts for an automated response, don't ask for it before the caller selects the IVR. Be protectable. Be protectable message include phrases like your call is important to us. We are expressing heavy volume, so there will be a long wait. We are sorry you're on hold, as well as endlessly repeating short messages. Confuse people. Giving complex instructions or information during hold messages doesn't usually work. Keep it simple. Make recordings too short. Look at your expected delay statistics and make the message long enough to cover at least the average delay when there is a delay. This is not the same as the ASA. Repeat too often. Make sure that your messages have some breathing time. In between messages, allow for some silence or play music or some other sound. Keep telling customers to hold on, that they are on hold. They already know it, and we are likely to be annoyed by such commands. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, so this whatever we have read here, it's pretty much applies to if you are someone working in a customer service or in an inbound call center where we are giving the customer on hold and maybe trying to get more information from a supervisor or when you're trying to transfer it to someone else. Since it here it says on hold messages the do's and don'ts, and so but the one thing which I would like to point out here is if I have to talk related to the process that we are going to be training you guys on, like I said, there will not be any live, call transferring, but there will be a situation where you will have to tell the customer, okay, I need to check in details with my superior or with my supervisor, and I'll have to get back to you. But then you will not be placing the call on hold, but you will be hanging up the call, as in you'll be finishing the call, but you need to get back to the customer by calling back again. So in such cases, sometimes if the question or if the query is the responses, you're not getting the responses to your questions on time, it might get delayed. You might not be able to call back the customer the same day, or you might have to wait for a couple of hours to get the information from from the supervisor and then call back the customer. So in such cases, you can always tell them, I'm sorry, it took me long enough to call you back. I hope I didn't keep you waiting for so long, or those kind of necessary statements needs to be used. We need to follow the proper on hold procedures. That's what you guys have to remember. Also, this one will surely be applied. This one will surely be applied to you guys. Again, talking about relativity with the process that we guys will be hiring you on. So initially there will be a script provided to all of you, considering that the campaign or the process is new, but eventually we don't rely on script. You guys have to come up with your own script. You guys have to improvise. You guys have to keep changing your pitch, your statements, over time, because each day, you start your work and then you keep talking about the same thing, to every single customer, the same script, the same statements. That's not going to work out for this campaign. So initially, for your reference, to get yourself more comfortable and confident with the process, yes, you guys can refer to the script that we will be providing. But over time, once you guys fully had a full grip on the process and how it works, you will be advised to keep on changing your script depending on the call situation, the call scenario that you guys will be going through. Yeah, so creating a variety of messages or script on a weekly basis or daily basis, monthly basis, it depends, whenever required. Be sure to change them more often. If you keep using the same script, it's most likely that the customer are so tired of listening to the same thing over and over again, they will just hang up on you. They will not listen to you, or they will just straight away tell you, okay, I'm not interested. Yeah, and they just hang up on you. So it's important to come up with your own script, own statements, so that the customer will be there to listen to you, and eventually you will get to generate many leads or very potential customers. Yeah. So that's just about the on-hold messages. If we talk about customer service inbound, again, this is not related to us, so we'll just skip that. Call flow management do's in the customer service outbound. Who do we have? Bonnie, are you there? Can you please read this, the do's points?
Yeah, I'm here, but unfortunately it's not visible.
Is it not visible to you?
No, actually, it's not.
And you have your voice is not audible either. There is some kind of background noise coming from your end. Maybe your headset.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. I said that I cannot, read it out loud to you now because it's not visible to me. I cannot see the words because I recently broke my glasses this morning, and I don't have any
Right.
glasses to wear.
You don't have the reading glasses, so
Enlarge
you
it.
can see.
You can
That's
enlarge it up
right.
to see,
Okay, I understand that. That's all right. Okay, we can have someone else read out. Who else is here? Manoj.
Hello.
Yes, can hear
Yeah.
you.
Should I go ahead with do's?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Greeting the customer with a smile, speak clearly, give the customer your undivided attention, identify yourself and your department, offer help, note the customer's name and address the customer by name. That creates an attentive impression. Begin the conversation with your customer on a positive note. Listen to the customer, ignore disruptions, distractions, or being too fast or too slow. Concentrate on what the customer is saying to you and acknowledge what he says. Attempt to identify the need and on the basis of the call, deliver information more and more. Responding to customers' needs. First, provide an empathy statement to address the customer's psychological needs. Then, with the customers, develop an action plan that directly addresses his needs. Developing an action plan that directly addresses his needs. Developing an action plan involves informing the customer of the about of the steps that you plan to take. Explain any stage he should take. Answer questions, handle objections, do not run away from questions. Remember, when a customer starts asking questions, those are actually buying signals. So pay attention and do not deviate from the subject. Check agreement whether the customer has understood and agreed to the proposal solutions.
Thank you.
You're
Proposed
welcome.
solutions. Okay. Right. So this is something which we have to, we have to keep in mind and we have to follow, especially when you are working in an outbound process, be it any kind of process it be. Okay, so greeting the customer, because we are the ones calling the customer, right? We are just calling them randomly. So it's important that we greet the customer. I mean, these are basic telephone etiquettes that you guys have been through. I don't actually require to, explain these things in details, but yes, it's always good to have, gentle reminder of what we have learned in the past and, what we need to still, follow these things. So grading the customer, which is very common, thing that we need to follow, especially if you are working for, if your job involves something related to telephone, talking to the customer over the phone. Right. So when you greet the customer, you guys might have heard this many times from your previous companies or organizations, but yes, when you actually talk to someone over the, I know you are virtually talking to someone, but when you smile and just say hello, with a smile, it actually reflects in the tone that you're representing yourself. So always, no matter how annoying, no matter how frustrating it could be, or if even if the day is going quite lousy for you, always remember to open the call with a positive note, with a smile, and always listen to the customer. Now, identifying ourselves or and about the reason why we're calling or where we're calling, that's very basic but very important, especially when you're doing an outbound call. Yeah, and always remember to um, to note the name of the customer. Now, in you will be getting raw data from the company. You will be you will have all the leads that you need to, all the customers leads or list that you need to call. Over there, you will be able to get sometimes, most of the time, you will get the name of the customer in the leads itself, but you will be getting only the last name of the customer. And for the first name, you get only the initial. Like if I am calling John Smith, in the dialer or in the information which I already have, I will be able to see only J. Smith. So only for the first name, it's only the initial, right? So however, you have the last name of the customer. So when you're talking to customer, address them with whatever names that you already have. For example, hi, hello, Mr. Smith, good afternoon, and this is Michelle, blah blah blah. Right, addressing the customer. When it comes to us, being an Indian, we are so fond of addressing someone with a sir, ma'am. Too much usage of sirs and ma'ams on a call. So we need to work on that as well. Depending on the countries, in some countries they prefer addressing them with their last names. With some countries, depending on each country's culture, some countries prefers addressing them with their first name, like for US or Australia. Since we're talking about Australian campaign, they prefer to be addressed by their first name. In India, if you address someone with sir or ma'am, they consider it as a respect, and they prefer it to be addressed them as sir and ma'am. But in Australia, it's always preferable to address the customer with their first name if you have the first name. If you don't have the first name, you can always approach the customer with their last name. So addressing the customer, taking a note of the customer's name and addressing the customer's names also creates, a good impression. It also creates a positive, impression. The customer gets to understand that, oh, okay, this is someone who knows me. Someone who knows me is calling me. So it gives them the feeling that it might be something important. The call might be something important. Yeah. So it also gives that kind of feeling to the customer. So instead of addressing them with sir and ma'am, of course, if you don't have the name appearing on your screen, you can always, address them sir and ma'am. But yes, you can ask for the name. Can I get your name to address you properly? They will surely, tell you the name. So after you get the name of the customer, address them with their names instead of using sir and ma'am, which most of us are so used to using that on call. Not just anyone, but most of us. Yeah. Listening to the customer. Now, this is something very important. It could be, inbound or outbound process, customer service, telesales, whatever process it be. Listening to the customer is very important, as we already know. And also, especially you guys will be dealing with residential customers for this process. It's imperative that your rate of speech needs to be, neutral. It should not be when you're talking very fast, when your rate of speech is very fast, I can guarantee you that the customer will keep telling you, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand. Yeah, because when we're dealing with residential customers, most of the time they are old people. Yeah, so and when they are old people, some people might be hard of hearing, and they will just, if it's like that, they will definitely tell you to go slow or to talk slowly. But just give me 1 second, let me just charge the. But yes, it's imperative that when you're talking to a residential customer, your rate of speech needs to be neutral. It should not be very slow or very fast. Just try to keep it medium, and especially if the customer asking you to talk slow or to go slow with them, you really need to be slow on the call. So this thing needs to be mindful. Very important. Concentrate on what customer is telling you. But it's very important that it's very important that we acknowledge what customer is saying. If we don't, and you can only acknowledge what customer is saying if you pay attention to what they are telling you. Now, what happens is most of the time, people rush through the calls. They don't tend to listen to what customer is saying. As long as they book an appointment, that is all. It matters, So it should not be that way. When customer is talking, you will be able to get a lot of information when you actually let your customer talk without interrupting them or without disturbing them in between. Yeah. Try attempting to identify what customer needs or what customer is talking about, and based on that, try to attend to their questions as well as possible, and try to deliver more information if they are seeking for more information on the call. Responding to the customer needs, first of all, if customer is telling you something, maybe sharing you their grievances. Now, another common thing that you guys will be coming across is from residential customer is that there are some people, they especially the old ones, the old customers, they stay alone, or they just stay, just the husband and wife, or just alone most of the time. So when someone talks to them, calls them, they just want to chat, they just want to talk to someone. So they keep on telling you stories after stories. They might start telling you about, if they have a pet, maybe a pet dog or a cat, they'll start telling you stories about their pets. Or if their pet, maybe they have some customer have a dog, as a pet, and it passed away or it died. They will literally cry over the phone telling you the stories about how faithful their pet is, or how sad he or she is. So depending on these kind of scenario, because this is quite common, when you're talking to a residential customer, they have all the time in the world, so they just keep on talking to you, telling you different stories. So what you need to do is, if it's something of grievances, you can always empathize their situation, but it's always important, you should have this talent in you, that you should always try to take control of the call. If not, your call duration will go on and on, which is not actually required. So another thing which I need you guys to keep in mind is that while dealing with residential customer, if you think that the call is going nowhere with just unnecessary stories coming in a picture, try to be quick in taking control of the call and moving on to the main objective of the call. All right. Developing an action plan involves informing the customer of the steps that you plan to take, explain any steps you should take, answer questions, handle objections, do not run away from questions. When customer is asking you something which you're not aware of, some people try to just to get rid of that question. Some people, start giving any kind of information which they assume. Most of the time, they assume and then they just tell the customer, but it leads to a fatal error. So it's always good to be honest with the customer, on the call. So instead of trying to avoid that question just because you don't know what to respond, or you don't know the rebuttals of that question, to not run away from it, to not try to avoid it, or to not give wrong information, but you can always be honest with the customer and tell them, well, I am not really aware of that. I need to, I'll check with my superior, I'll check with my supervisor and get back to you. Always be honest, if it's some questions which you're not aware of. Pay attention and do not deviate from the subject. Yeah, what happens is sometimes customer wants to know, let's say they want to know the price of the product that we're offering. Just because you don't know the price, you just ignore the question and jump to the next question, asking them different questions. It's like deviating away from the subject or away from the question by not acknowledging what customer is asking. So even if you know or you don't know the answer or the response to that question, always acknowledge it before you jumped on to asking the next question. Yeah. To not rush through the call in an attempt to feed the customer as much as possible once he's on the line. Wait up, relax, talk, and do not blabber. Now, this is something which people usually do, and I'm talking about, real-time experiences, from the previous employees. What happens is, since instantly your target needs to be, what your target is to generate leads. So in order to close the call, in order to close the deal or generate the leads, what happens is, they tend to just rush through the call. They tend to what's on their mind is that I need to ask this question. Okay, this question is asked. Now I need to jump on to the next question. If I asked all the questions, or if I get all the information done, the lead is booked. I mean, I'm going to generate the lead. That is all, that's going on in their mind. And because of that, they keep on rushing through the call instead of listening to the customer. Yeah. So to not do that when you start calling or when you start your work. To not get tense. It's nothing personal. You're just doing your job. They're just missing out on, another good deal. So if customer, maybe if customer just shouts at you saying that, well, why are you calling me again and again? I'm not interested. Or why are you people, something which to not want to hear. If they're telling you such things, you just, don't take it personal. They're not angry at you. They just, they might be having a bad day, or they might be angry about something or the other. So don't take it personal, and don't be afraid. They cannot come out of phone and hit you. Relax, listen to your questions and answer them. Trust me, you might come, there might come a day when you'll get to hear from customer that they're going to report you to the police, or they're going to sue you. Well, you don't need to panic. Just relax. They just say that they can't do anything. So, yeah, don't panic when you get to hear this thing from the customer. Do not start by saying, "If I was you," empathize with you. So, most of the time, it doesn't work, especially when you're in this kind of process. It will work if you're putting yourself in customers' shoes and empathizing the situation. Well, it might work if you are working in a customer service or customer support, but not here. They will just, take your words for it, and they will take you, through a ride, saying that how can't you understand my situation? How can you put yourself in my shoes and, telling me not to worry or not to do this, that. So maybe, sometimes it might work with some customer, but it doesn't work with most of the customer, not in this process. Okay, so that's common things about. We still have those getting agreement feedback. Let me see if any of this is relevant to our process. Yeah, doing a follow-up, again, something which we've already discussed before. Yeah, this one is actually important. Sorry, this one. Paraphrasing, what's going on? Paraphrasing, what the customer has communicated to you, or paraphrasing for the customer. Now, what happens is, again, I'm repeating myself when I say this, but, this is relevant to the process again. So since we will be dealing with residential customer. If it's a B2B calling, it works different way. But since it's going to be, B2C initially, so what happens is you might think that you are very clear in informing the customer or providing information to the customer over the phone. But what happens is, and customer might acknowledge by saying, yeah, yes, no, right? But what happens in reality is, most of the time, these old people, if I call back, let's say after the lead is generated, if I call back maybe to confirm something, they will start telling me, well, I don't remember talking to anyone, or they will say, no, the person whom I spoke to before, he or she didn't tell me that, or he didn't tell me about this. So, when they're acknowledging, when we're giving some information and they're acknowledging, we think that customer understood. But this happens most of the time, especially if your customer is old. So we need to at the end of the call, it's important that we paraphrase or we summarize what happened on the call, right? So Mr. Smith, so here is what happened. I'm booking you an appointment, or I'm scheduling an appointment for you, so that the sales specialist will call you, or our team of experts will be calling you in the next 48 hours, or on Monday, Tuesday, whatever information you have given to the customer. So they'll be calling you on Monday between 9 to 12 p.m. I would request you to keep your phone line open so that you will receive the call when they ring you. Okay, so emphasizing and summarizing it for them so that they will remember when the next person calls them, right? And sometimes if you're explaining something and customer is unable to understand or comprehend, it's important that you paraphrase the statement and tell them again, do not keep on repeating the same statement over and over again, but try to paraphrase it in a different way so that the customer will understand. Right? That is actually a very basic thing, but that's very important, especially when you're dealing with an old customer, old people. Effective communication, it can be only effective if you are listening to the customer effectively, if you are speaking with the customer confidence. And when will you be able to speak with confidence? Only when you will be thorough with the product knowledge or with the process knowledge, right? So which we will be going through. What else do we have here? Phone etiquette, again, something which everybody knows. Building customers loyalty, communicate. Now this is something which we follow, working for this campaign in general, not just with the specific process, but with this campaign. We have to build a good rapport with the customer, because let's say today you spoke to one customer and you have generated the list for one of the products. Now what happens is, because this is government scheme, it's a scheme or a program launched by the Australian state government. So each time new product keeps on adding. So what happens is, today you talk to one customer, you offered one product. Now maybe after a couple of months, the government launched another product. They added another product which can be subsidized to the citizens or to the people in Victoria. So what happens is, we will be going back to the same customers again, and we will be selling the product to the customer again. So what happens is, when you build a good rapport with the customer, even after a couple of months, they will still remember you. If you go back to them and say, hi, hey, Mrs. Smith, it's me, Michelle. I'm not sure if you still remember, but three months back we spoke. We offered you this product, so and so product. We have installed that product for you, and do you still remember? And they will, if you have a good talk, good rapport built with your customer, even after 6-7 months, they will still remember you. It happens to some of the agents, whom we already have. So they will still remember, yeah, I remember it. So, and then, you can strike a conversation. So how is that product working out for you? Is it working well? Are you able to, are you facing any sort of problem? So it's like, trying to check up on them, and once that is done, you can start selling your new product which the government has launched, right? So you know, for that I mean, with that being said, we have, the government has added another product which would be beneficial for you, and that's another reason why, you know, that is the other reason why I'm calling you today, because you had been, you know, shortlisted for this product as well. If you are interested, if you know, customer remembers you, they will surely like to have further discussion with you. So building trust with the customer, building a good rapport with the customer is very important, as long as you are part of this, you know, process, this campaign. And how to build good rapport with your customer. Of course, you all know how to build good rapport with your customer, right? So I'll leave that up to you guys. But yes, what you need to remember is that building a good rapport with the customer will be really beneficial for you as an individual and for all of us, you know, as a team. Yeah. Telemarketing laws. Since we'll be doing, what we're doing is a telemarketing call, I mean telemarketing process, it's important that everybody is aware of some of the telemarketing rules in Australia. Now, these are just some of the tips for telesellings. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Pre-call planning. So these are some few tips that will help you to, you know, get through this process or this campaign. Pre-call planning is important. Before calling the customer, preparing yourself. You know, what are the things that you need to prepare yourself. Going through all this pre-planning will be helpful for you to achieve your goal or to achieve your target. We will be, you know, talking in details about what are the plans or what are the things that you need to prepare yourself before you actually make your calls. What are the things that's required, you know, before your call is connected to the decision maker? Because when it's a lead generation, when it's an appointment calling process, the call must be, the conversation must happen with the decision maker, be it in residential or business. The leads that you guys will be generating will be only with the decision maker, right? Creating an interest, opening statements, the first, you know, the first 20 seconds of the call is the most important part of your calls. No matter how long you are on call, the first 20 seconds will make the impression. So your first 20 seconds, which is your opening spiel or opening pitch, that would be the most effective thing that you have to work on. Okay, I think this is the last one. So after this, after we're done with this presentation, we will all take a break. I have to remove my drip as well. So let's, you know, just finish this and I'll give you guys a break and we'll gather back once we are done with this, you know, basic pre-process basic things. We will start with the actual process. But yeah, effective questioning will also, you know, lead you to getting a potential leads at the end of the day. Asking for, you know, sales recommendations, you know, asking for recommendations, getting commitment. The closing of the call also plays a vital role for the process that you will be training on. If you are coming across any sort of objections, objection handling is also important for this process. And yeah, most importantly, your attitude. your attitude will play a vital role for this campaign. Now we will be talking, in details about all this, whatever we have discussed about related to the process. Most of the things are just for your basic information or for your information only. But yes, we will be talking in details about the rest of the other things which are actually related to the process. Okay, so for now, what is it? It's 12 o'clock. Let's take half an hour break. Or what do you guys suggest? Do you guys want to go for lunch now or?
Lunch we'll do at 1:30. We do, I believe. I don't know about others, but it's between 1:30 to 2.
1:30. Okay.
No, you can ask others also because that's the time we do lunch.
1:30 is good for you guys, for all of you, for lunch.
2 o'clock.
Okay, let's. I think Diana also takes 1:30. Okay. For now, we'll just go.
Luzana, before wind up, sorry to interrupt you, Luzana. Before wind up, I just want to check it whether Nikita has joined it or not because I sent a message. She logged in, but I just want to confirm it. Nikita, are you there? Nikita? I hope she didn't join, but she sent a message. Okay, let me check, Luzana. Thank you. Thank you so much. You can go ahead.
No worries. Okay, so we're all taking a break now. It's 12:01. We'll join back at 12:30. You guys can go on mute and take your break without cutting off from the line. You can turn off your cam and go on mute and take the break. 12:30 we'll start with the session. Okay. And for the lunch break, we'll discuss later after we're back from this break.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Bye. So there is one commission called ESC, in short, which is the Essential Services Commission, which is the governing, and this ESC is the governing body for the VEU or the VEET scheme. So they are the one which actually converts the entire thing. So VEET, initially it was called the VEET scheme, which is called Victorian Energy Efficiency Target. And later on, it's been changed to Victorian Energy Upgrade, which is called the VEU. All right. So it was established under this name in 2007, and it is expected this campaign or this program is expected to continue until Jan 2030. So it's a long running campaign that the Victorian state government has initiated. Right. So although it was established in the year 2007, it actually comes into effect in the year 2009 with different products each time. Once all the households have upgraded or taken the product which the government has launched, once almost 99% of the household gets the product, they launch another product. So every time the products keeps on adding one after another. This scheme is designed to make energy efficiency improvements more affordable and encourage investment, employment, and innovation in industries that supply energy efficiency goods and services. So because of this launch in the target, it not only helped the citizens to use energy efficient products, and which in turn help them to reduce their energy bills or electricity bills, but yes, it also helps in the industry. It also helps the industries to get more employment or to more investment. Now, the ultimate goal remains the same. That is, explore new ways to reduce energy usage and power bills. So I'll be using a lot of energy and power during this whole conversation. It's nothing but the electricity bill. When I say energy and power, I'm referring to the electricity. Now we are trying to get into the habit of using the same terms which are used in Australia, or which are being said or used by the Australians, so that when we actually start talking to the customers, we also get used to saying these terms. So power bills or energy bills, these are nothing but the electricity bill that we're talking about. Okay, so this the essential service, the ES Energy Saving Scheme program. Well, this again, not this one. This is about North South Wales, the NSW Energy Saving Scheme. We are not doing this. You guys will not be trained on this campaign right now, so we'll skip this. Okay, some of the benefits for this program. Some of the points will not be related to the process, but I'll let you guys know. So it's a state government initiative, obviously, as I've said before. And here, some of the products, customers are getting some of the products free of cost, and some of the products are partially free, as in they're getting a rebate, a discount. So under this initiative or under this program, some of the products are free of cost. Some of the products are, partially borne by the customer, and they have to pay a partial amount in order to get the products. One of the benefits is to reduce their energy bills or electricity bills, reduction of greenhouse gases. Excuse me. Reduce the carbon footprint by up to 70%. So the products which the new energy efficient products actually helps in reducing the carbon footprint, and also it highly, using those products highly reduces the electricity consumption. So it eventually leads them to paying lesser electricity bill, because unlike in India, in Australia, people are paying high amount of electricity bills every month or every fortnight or quarterly. And also we have the best team of assessors or installers for installing and assessing the products, which we will discuss in details. Now, these are for your information. VEET, it stands for, most of the time we use the short form, so you need to understand which we are referring to. VEET, Victorian Energy Efficiency Target, like I said before. Just give me 1 second. VEU, Victorian Energy Upgrades, VEC, Victorian Energy Efficiency Certificate. So actually, VIC is something which whenever any customer takes the product or upgrades to the energy efficient product, it creates a certificate, it generates a certificate. So through this certificate, the vendors or the clients who are running this campaign, they actually get the benefits in terms of, if I talk about profit, they use this certificate, they submit the certificates that's been generated for upgrading the products for the customers, and that's how they used to get paid in response to selling the products. ESC is the Essential Services Commission, the commission who is governing the entire VEU program. AP, you will also get to hear a lot of time, when we say AP, accredited person or provider. So what happens is that, first of all, what we need to understand here is the scheme is initiated by the state government. However, the whole scheme is being administered or governed by this one, Essential Service Commission. Now, through this Essential Services Commission, they decide which products to, which energy efficient product to provide to the customer. They decide which product to give free of cost to the customer, or which product should be payable, right? Now comes the AP, the accredited person or the provider. So accredited person or the providers are the ones we directly deal with. So they are the providers. What happens is they take up all this. Now there are different, like I said, there are different products available in the market, in the sense under the scheme. So the AP will decide which product they would like to undertake. And then once they acquire the product, once they meet all the criteria that is required by the Essential Service Commission, once they check their production, their performances, everything, they have to become an AP. Actually, it has nothing to do with us, but just for your understanding, to become, you run an organization. Let's say you have one organization, you have one company, you would like to register as an AP, as an accredited provider for all these products under the VEU scheme. For that, you need to, there are certain parameters that you need to achieve in order to become an AP. So after registering, after applying to become an AP, the Essential Service Commission will check on your performances, on your companies, your organization. If the Essential Services approves your application, your company or your organization will become an AP. All right, and that's where we are dealing with the client that we are dealing with, the APs, the
Ma'am,
accredited
hello.
provider. Yes.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
So you said ESC are the one, they will decide which product is payable and which product is free. Okay. And then you
Yeah.
said we also have AP. They will decide which product should go out in the market. Correct.
No.
So
This
what is AP?
AP,
I don't understand.
once you become an AP, once you become an accredited provider or accredited person, so we said person and provider because there are some individual who applies to become this one, an AP, right?
Okay.
And they will apply to the Essential Service Commission. Only after reviewing, they will confirm your application, or they will qualify you to become a provider. Just give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so after you become this, after you're qualified, after the Essential Service Commission tells you that, okay, your company is qualified to become an accredited provider, then you will decide as an accredited provider. There are so many products that's been that's been verified and that's been commissioned by the ESC, right? So, but as a provider, it's up to you to decide, okay, I would like to I would like to run the campaign for this product. Let's say there are ABCDY products are there, but as a provider, you have the option to choose which product you would like to deal with. Is that making sense to you, whoever raised the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So even though the Essential Services Commission has, already approved multiple products, to be, given to the Victorian citizens. As a provider, as an accredited provider, you can choose from, those products which one you would like to deal with. All right, so you have the option to do that. You cannot just, and also in order to get some products, to deal with some products, again, there are few things that you need. First, you need to get, approval from the ESC. So anyway, this I'm just trying to explain the, the relationship between the ESC and the AP. So once the AP, qualified, confirms the product. Let's say I want to go, I run a company and I've applied for, the AP. I've already been qualified, and my application has been confirmed. Now I would like to go through, which products I would like to take up for. So for example, there are ABC products, but I would like to, deal only with product A. So they will apply whatever is necessary. Now, being an accredited provider, after you choose which products you would like to go for, you started to, do whatever things are required. So what happens is now I have decided to go for product A. Now what I need to do is I will start, looking at companies. Someone's mic, background is quite, disturbing. You can put on mute if you don't have any questions. So yeah, once I become an AP and once I confirm the product which I would like to go for, now I will start hunting for, manufacturing companies. I will start hunting for companies where that particular product is being manufactured. And once I tie up with any manufacturing company, I'll start ordering the product in bulk. And once I have everything in stock, then I will start, hunting for leads, because I have all the products piled up. I have the stocked the products. So I'll go ahead and check. I'll go ahead and start hunting for leads, and that's where we come in the picture. They tie up with call centers. They tie up with they have door knockers. They call, in Australia, they call them door knockers. So door knockers are nothing but the salesmen, who went from door to door and sell. In India, we also get salespeople knocking at a door sometimes, selling something or the other. So likewise, in Australia, they're called the door knockers. So they can hire, the AP, the accredited provider can hire door knockers, who can, go from door to door and pitch the product, sell the product, but also they tie up with call centers like us. Yeah, and then once they do it, we generate the leads for them. For the accredited provider, we generate the leads for them, and then they will, send their sales team, and they will install the products or upgrade the products for them. So far is the relationship between all these different commissions or different terms. Are you guys getting the flow of what I'm trying to explain to you guys so far?
Yes.
Yeah, but
Okay. If anyone has any question, please do not hesitate to ask.
Miss, I want to ask you one thing. That AP, does they have any like criteria which product should go out and which should not go out?
Sorry, what was the question?
The AP,
Mm-hmm.
do they have any criteria that which product should go out in the market and which should stay?
Well, we will not be concerned with that, because that's their that's their business. Whatever they do before coming to us, it's none of our concern, and we don't need to know in details. What I'm trying to explain to you guys is the relationship between this scheme and the ESC, the AP. What we need to focus is that we get the products, we get the product information, we get to understand which product we have to dial for from the AP, from the accredited provider. Okay, so each time accredited provider will come to us because we are tied up with one of the accredited providers. So whenever they acquire or whenever they would like to choose any other products, they will come to us and tell us, hey, apart from this product, we are also taking up another product. Would you guys like to dial for that as well? So how they acquire the products that they would like to deal with, it all depends on the accredited provider, and it has nothing to do with us. We just need to understand that this is a product that our client or our vendor would like us to dial, so we'll dial for this. Yeah.
Okay, so we get leads from AP, right?
Not leads, the product.
Yeah.
We don't get leads from anyone. We are the one who creates the leads and give it to them. But yes, it's the accredited provider who will tell us that we need to dial for this product. I need this many leads for for this product and this many leads for this product. Okay, and these are the ER energy retailers. Now, in India, when we talk about electricity, anything to do with electricity, we have what? I think it's we don't have any sorry, we don't have any private companies who who provides the electricity, right? It's just a Department of Power or Department of Electricity, through the government that we are getting the electricity, be it in any state in India, right?
Yes.
But unlike that, unlike here in India, in Australia, they have so many energy retailers or electricity providers. So any private company can take up, can become an energy retailer or electricity provider. Like for example, few renowned and common electricity providers in Australia are AGL. AGL is one of the energy retailers, oldest energy retailers in Australia. Origin, we have Sumo Power. There are so many electricity providers in Australia. All right, so this is also another term that you might come across, sometimes. So it's good to know what, how the electricity providers or how it works in Australia. So in Australia, unlike in India, it's not the Australian government who actually, looks after the electricity. But yes, they have different multiple, energy retailers, separate energy retailers taken up by the private, companies. For example, AGL, Origin, and through this, they provide the electricity to the citizens in Victoria. So what happens is sometimes, it's like it's almost like we have different mobile network here, like Airtel, Geo, whatnot, Idea, BSNL, like different network providers that we've got here in India. So likewise, it works, in accordance to that when it comes to the electricity suppliers in Australia. So they supply the electricity, the private companies take up the, this providing electricity, and they supply the electricity to the customers. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because sometimes you might get to hear from the customer that, my energy retailer, or they will be using this term, my energy retailer. So don't get confused when they say that. They are actually referring to the company where they are, getting the electricity, or where the company who is supplying the electricity to them, right?
Yeah, got it.
Also, Australian consumer law, unlike India, again, in Australia, the citizens are bounded by or protected by so many laws, like they have the Australian consumer laws. And because of this laws protecting them. They can sue anyone at any point of time, you know. So yeah, Australian consumer law is one of the law that we follow as, you know, as we are the ones doing the telemarketing, and they have unsolicited consumer agreements as well. Now, these things are just for your information, that there are consumer laws. The customers are protected by the consumer laws. So if we act, you know, out of these laws, then we will most likely be sued by the customer. But yes, there are a few things that we you know, protect ourselves with, so that we don't get sued by the customer, which we will discuss in details. Again, VEU schemes, whatever I've just explained, let's go through this again. ESC, the Essential Service Commission, sets guidelines and targets. Also places energy saving liability on energy saving retailers to surrender a specific number of weeks every year. So if you have, you know, like I said, the Essential Service Commission, they are the ones who decides everything when it comes to the Victorian Energy Upgrade Scheme. So they set all the guidelines that you need to meet these guidelines if you want to become an AP, accredited provider, or you need to achieve this many targets if you want to qualify yourself or your company as an accredited provider. Yeah. So how they will do this? For example, when it's a target, being an AP, you need to create this many targets each year. Let's say you have been qualified as an accredited provider. Now your job is to create, let's say, you know, 1,000 certificates at the end of the year. Now, how this certificate gets generated? Because like we have discussed before, the reason for the government to launch this program, one of the reasons is to reduce the energy bills of the customer. Another reason is to reduce the greenhouse emission, right, or the carbon footprint. So each week, one week, and we all know what week is. If we go back and check Victorian, where is that page? Victorian Energy Efficiency Certificate. So it's a certificate. VEEC is nothing but a certificate. Okay, so each certificate, one VEEC or one certificate represents 1 ton of, you know, greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gas or CO2 abated. So in order to reduce the carbon emission, we are, you know, the government has come up with this program, has launched this program. And in order to make that effective, it's the job of the AP, the accredited provider, to create as many VEECs, as many certificates as possible. Now, the accredited provider creates VEECs through various saving activities. There are 35 different activities currently prescribed under ESC guidelines. So when I said 35, when we said activities, it's nothing but the products. Like 35 energy efficiency products are listed in the ESC guidelines. But among these 35 different products or activities, which is listed in the ESC guidelines, we are dialing for only 1 or 2 products. Yeah. Now, so the accredited provider creates the certificate through various activities or various products. There are currently 35 activities or products are currently prescribed or listed by the Essential Service Commission. ER, the energy retailer, they buy the VEECs from APs. Now, let's say going back to the same example which I provided before, I run one organization or one company. I have applied for the accredited provider. The ESC has confirmed my application. Now I am an accredited provider. My target or my job as an accredited provider is to create as many certificates as possible, right? So how do I get the certificate? Being an AP, being an accredited provider, how do I get the certificate? So what happens is I will buy the certificate from, the energy retailers. I will create, let's say, in a year I created or I have received 1,000 or let's say 10,000 certificates by installing the products. By installing the energy efficient products, each customer, each property or each household, in each household we can create multiple certificates. One certificate, sorry about that. In each household, we can create one certificate for giving them the product or upgrading the energy efficient product. So I will be doing all this as an accredited provider. I will keep on installing the energy efficiency products, and I will keep on creating the certificate, right? And once I do that, the energy retailers, like I said before, there are multiple energy retailers or electricity suppliers in Australia. So what happens is after I as an accredited provider created the certificate, the energy retailers will approach my company and says that, oh well, I would like to buy the certificate for you. Now, every energy retailer, because the government is not directly managing the electricity supplies in Australia, they have given the opportunity to, for the private companies to, do their activities or to supply the electricity by themselves. So the government also needs something in return, right, for giving them the opportunity to supply electricity. So what happens is the energy retailer will buy all the certificates that the accredited provider are generating. They will buy the certificates from the AP, so that at the end of the year they also have to meet the target. Okay, so being an energy retailer, I should have this many certificates at the end of the year. Right, so this is how, these are all interconnected. The ESC, the AP, the ER, they all work hand in hand. They all work together in order to create, in order to reduce the greenhouse emission and also to reduce the energy bill of the customer. So these are basic things that you need. These are only for your understanding purpose. You don't need to, explain all this to the customer on call when you actually start dialing. But in order to understand the product, in order to understand this campaign, it's imperative that you guys are aware of the terms, and you will also be coming across all these things one time or the other time. You also get to hear from customers. So when customer actually, maybe ask you a question related to any of this, you will have, it's imperative that you understand and you have the answer to respond to the customer. Trust me, some customer will also ask you, if you are providing, if you are giving us this product for free, how are you getting the profit? What is your earning? How do you earn? Right? Sometimes some curious customers likes to know. They will ask you this question also. So if you don't know how all these things work, then definitely you will not be able to provide a response to the customer. So in short, you can explain or you can tell the customer that, well, by upgrading this product for you, the energy and efficient product for you, we are creating a certificate. So through the certificate, we submit the certificate to the Essential Service Commission, and most of the Victorian citizens are aware of the ESC, the Essential Service Commission, what they do, and what kind of company it is, and what are they responsible for. So if you just tell them, well, by upgrading your this product for you, we are generating the certificate. So we give them a certificate to the customer also once they are done, upgrading the installation. Installing the product. So we generate the certificate. We submit the certificate to the government, and that's how we get the profit in return. Very simple. So if you understand how the ESC, the AP, or the ER works, you'll be able to answer this kind of question, unexpected question coming from the customer.
Miss, one question here. One question. So we will install a product, right? in their place, in the offices or home, wherever it is, then we'll give them a certificate, correct? And
Yeah.
after that, after getting the certificate, their energy bill or the the thing they'll buy from the government will get lower. That's what you're saying?
What was the last statement?
Like we will reduce their bills. That's what I said. Like the energy bill, or
Yeah, we will not be doing that.
we'll giving the certificate, right? So the government will do that.
Yeah, so what happens is the products that we are giving to customer, it consumes less electricity. So once they start using those energy efficient products, it will consume less electricity. So when you're consuming, when your electronic stuffs, are consuming less electricity, by default, you'll get lesser electricity bill, right? Let's say if you're using the traditional light bulb, the round shape, the old light bulb which we were using before, we get high electricity bill by using those bulbs because those are not energy efficient bulbs, right? But if when we start using the LED bulbs, those are energy efficient. We started the duration. I mean, the durability of the LED light is also longer. It lasts longer to use, and also it consumes lesser electricity, which is helping us. Even if I talk about in India, it's also helping us to lessen the electricity bill because the LED bulbs are consuming lesser electricity, right? So it works pretty much the same way. Yes.
Got it.
Right, ma'am. And ma'am, you told us that like when we installed a less consuming electricity product on some customer, right? After that, we got a certificate, right?
Well, about the certificate things, that is just for your understanding. You are not required to explain to the customer about all these
Right.
things. So, but yes, we give them a certificate. It automatically generates a certificate
Okay.
when we upgrade the products, for them. So that's just for your understanding. That's how the the VIX certificates gets generated.
I got it, ma'am. But I just want to ask you that, like, is there any organization like you also told us that there is a one thing like who buy the certificate from our site?
Well, it's the energy retailers who buys the
Energy retail.
certificate from the accredited provider.
Mhm. Got it.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you need to understand is that regarding this campaign, who set the guidelines, who governed or who commissioned all these products that's going to the customer, yeah, all these things, who is the the company or who is the body responsible for managing all this. It's the Essential Service Commission, and who are actually directly dealing with the customer by providing this energy efficient product. They are the accredited providers who is doing that, right? And once they generates the certificates, the accredited provider generates the certificates by replacing their traditional products with energy efficient products. They will generate certificates, and those certificates will be buying by the energy retailers. And once they receive the energy retailers, let's say the energy retailers received a certificate for my property, me being the customer for my property, they will definitely go through their electricity usage, electricity consumption, right? And they will eventually try to reduce the electricity bill for that property. That's why the energy retailer also comes in the picture, and that's another reason why they purchase the certificates from the accredited provider. And that's how the consumers or the customer gets to reduce their electricity bill. Okay, so this all these companies, I mean all these different parties, they work hand in hand. They work together in helping the customer to get a lesser electricity bill at the end of the day. Okay, this is LED. This is one of the product which we are dealing with, but since you guys will not be trained on this product, so we will leave this. But yeah, just for your information, as mentioned here, 35 different activities or products are there. So LED is one of the, one among the list of the 35 products. Now let's talk about your responsibility, your role as a call center agent or as an agent for this process. Give me 1 second. Let me quickly check what's going on here. Okay. Related to me. Okay. Right. So here is actually the call flow that the entire call flow for you to work on this process. So you dial the numbers from the dialer. So you guys will be using dialer. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with that, but you'll be using a VC dialer. From this dialer, you will get predictive. It's a predictive dialer, so you'll get all the leads, the raw data uploaded in the dialer. So you just have to keep on calling one number after another. So dial the numbers from the dialer, or you can also do data mining by yourself. Data mining, as in there are different websites where you can get the customer's details like their address, their phone numbers, or even their names sometimes. So regarding this data mining, we will have separate session for that in detail. But yes, there are two ways to dial for this campaign. One is to dial from the predictive dialer, where the leads, the raw data will be already uploaded in the dialer. The second option is to search data manually by yourself and dial those leads. And your job is to generate leads or appointments from the assigned areas. Now there are multiple suburbs or multiple areas in Victoria. So this will be assigned to you by the backend team. They will tell you in which areas to dial, or based on that, they will upload only the leads from these designated areas in the dialer. So you have to dial area wise. Lead generation team will capture, this is for the LED. So forget about this, forget about the the products mentioned here. But being a lead generation agent, you will capture all the information that needs to be captured regarding that product. And the product that we will be dealing with is a hot water system. So we'll be talking about the hot water system. Let's not these are for LED. Let's just ignore this. Let me check if we have specific information. Well, this is about the working days and hours, which you guys are already aware of from your interview time. So I will not be going through this again. But yeah, there is another rule called another law or rules that you can say EGMA rules. It's for telemarketing calls, telemarketing laws. So as per the telemarketing laws, no telemarketing calls should be made after 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So for B2C and B2B, 9 to 8 is the window that we can dial or we can call the customers. And on Saturdays, 9 to 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So like I said before, there are different time zones in Australia, but we follow the Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, these are as per the EGMA rules, telemarketing rules. We have to, no calls should be made to the customer after 8 p.m. in Australian Eastern Standard Time. It's mandatory for everyone to follow the EGMA rules. No telemarketing calls during public holidays. Another one of the rules set by the EGMA is no telemarketing calls during public holidays. State-wise confirmation will be by the Australian team. So if there is any public holidays in Victoria or any national holidays in Victoria, as per the rules, we are not allowed to make any telemarketing calls. So during public holidays in Victoria, we will also get holiday. And that's another reason why we don't follow Indian calendars or Indian national holidays. We follow only Australian calendars, and that's why we get holidays if there is a holiday in Victoria. 9 hours of login time is required from Monday to Friday and 5 hours for Saturday if applicable. Following EGMA rules, the team can prioritize peak hours. As we know, there are peak hours and non-peak hours, depending on the audience that we're targeting or depending on the customers that we are targeting. There are peak hours and off-peak hours. So for better performance, we can always see which time is the peak hours to get potential leads and which time is not peak hours. But this is actually for offshore team, not our team, but we are also dealing with some offshore team, offshore sender, dialing for the same campaign. So when it's an offshore, it's their preference to what time they would like to start the shift. So this is not applicable to us. This is again quality parameters for LED campaign. LED again. Okay, so just for your understanding, before we jumped into hot water system, which is our main product, this is door seal. This is how it's put in here. This is one of the product, one of the activities or one of the products that the government, the ESC has approved. And the door seal, it's called the door seals. This has been provided to the Victorian household, only residential, not commercial, for free of cost. So for installing these door seals, there was no charges for the customer. They did everything for free. There's product information which is not required. Just for your information, I'm showing you the other products. Chimney blocker or chimney seal. So this is also another, this is the blocker, the seal. This is also another product that's been approved by the ESC, and customer also got this product free of charge without any charges. This is how it looks. Now these are all energy efficient product. Now you might, if you think that how comes this is, and by installing this, how comes the customer is going to save the electricity bill, or by installing this door seal, right? So I mean, if they install the door seal, there we can see a gap between the door and the main frame, right? If you look at it in your room door, you can see there is always a small gap, right? So in order to, because of the small gaps, if you run the AC or if you're running, just give me 1 second. Or if you turn on the heater, be it for heating or cooling devices, if you're using any heating or cooling devices, because of the small gaps in the doors and windows, the heat or the cool, it goes away or from the cracks, and it doesn't give you 100% cooling or heating. So in order to not let the heat or the in terms of air conditioner, in order to not let the cool escape from the small gaps, they used to put in the door seal, and this way you will be able to minimize the usage, be it your heater or air conditioner, and that way you'll be able to save your electricity bill because you are using less, you are turning on your aircon less because it's staying inside, it's not escaping from the small cracks. So it's all the devices, all these products are energy efficient in one way or the other. So just for your understanding, this is also another product which the residential, Victorian residential customers received for free of cost. This is also another device which they received from, free of cost. It's called the IHD or in-home device. So this is the small device. They used to put the device on their switchboard, right? This is let's say this is a switchboard. So what happens is when they put the device here on the switchboard, it gets connected, and then it will get connected. This device will get connected to your mobile phone through Bluetooth. Now, once this device is connected to your switchboard, what happens is customer will be able to check their energy consumption, their electricity consumption. They will be able to view, on a daily basis, on a weekly, monthly basis. They'll be able to view how much, let's say, how much my air conditioner is consuming. How much kilowatt my aircon is consuming today or this week. How much my refrigerator is consuming electricity. So this way, they're able to monitor their energy consumption or electricity consumption, and if they find that okay, this device or this product is consuming a lot of electricity bill, so what electricity, so what I need to minimize using this product. That's how the customer, by keeping a track of their electricity consumption in their property or in their household, they are able to end up paying lesser electricity bill. So again, this device is also one of the energy efficiency product, which the customer got it for free. Again, no charges. This is another type of IHD device. These are meter boxes, and another product which customer got it for free is a trough stopper or a fan seal. So this is put on, see, on top of the exhaust fan. If they have an exhaust fan, they put in this seal or this cover in order to not to let the air again go out or escape unnecessarily. So again, one of the product which the Victorian household or residential customers receive for free of cost. What is this? Exhaust fans. In this kind of fans, they can put in the covers. Another product, this is activity 17. You don't need to know the numbers, but yes, one of the activity or product that customer received free of cost, again, shower rose. So they don't get the entire, settings, but yes, the different types of this one, they used to get this. These are all, manufactured or made in such a way that it will not use high quantity of water. So again, one of the energy efficiency product called shower rose. Low flow shower head. These are the ones which they got for free as a replacement. RDC, or we call it the refrigerator display cabinet. This is also, it's a refrigerator in other words, but the one used in commercial. We can usually see this kind of display cabinets or refrigerator in a shop or in bakeries. This is also another product which is not free, but yes, with a discounted price, customer can get this, claim this product as well with a rebate. Okay. Now here comes the main product that you guys will be dialing for. So hot water system. I'm sure everyone is aware of what hot water is, right?
Yes, listener.
Right. Some of you guys might be using hot water as well in your home. So hot water system, this is, we are replacing the traditional or the old hot water system to a new and energy efficient hot water system called the heat pump. Okay, so before we talk about the heat pump, the new product which we are providing the customer, let's learn what type of hot water systems are available in Australia. So there are different types of hot water system in Australia. One is electric hot water system, gas hot water system, solar hot water system. So these three types of hot water systems you will find usually in in most of the households. All right, so what is an electric hot water system?
Where we use the electrical support for heating the water for our home essential, consumption, water consumption.
Very simple. We all know what hot water system is. It's just that if you're using an electric hot water system, you use the electricity to heat the water for you. If you are using a gas hot water system, then you use gas to heat the water. If you are using a solar hot water system, you heat the hot water, you heat the water with the help of the electricity generated from your solar panels. Okay, so now you will find different hot water systems. You just have to remember these three different types of hot water system that you will find in most of the households in Victoria. One is electric, one is gas, and one is solar hot water system. Okay. These are few pictures. Some of them might not be clear, but yes, this is a gas hot water system. The first picture. Now, when it comes to gas hot water system, you will usually see customers having these two types of gas hot water system. This is a tank, a storage tank. So this is a gas storage tank. And this one is the one which is the tank. If it's a tank, it is usually cylindrical in shape. Okay. Now another type of gas hot water system is the one which looks like a rectangular box here. Sometimes if it's small, it also looks a bit like a square box, but most of the time it's like, it looks like a rectangular box here. This is an instantaneous gas hot water system. So it's self-explanatory when I say a storage tank and an instantaneous tank. A storage tank, obviously, it stores up the water. It hits the water, the hot water, the water which is heated, it gets stored in the tank, and whenever we need it, we use it, right? After storing the tank. For instantaneous,
Yes.
you don't need to store it up. You just, turn on the tap like we turn on the tap in the basin, like in the washing basin, or where we take, when we're going for a shower, we just turn on the tap whenever we use it. So likewise, for instantaneous, it's instant. The water is instant, right? If you turn on the tap, you get the instant hot water. So usually when a customer have a gas hot water system, it could be one of these two. They might have a gas storage tank, or they might have an instantaneous tank. Okay, so this is about the gas hot water system. Now, this is the heat pump, the new heat pump, which we are providing, but it's just for your understanding for now. We will discuss in detail about the product we are offering, definitely. But yeah, this is just to distinguish or to differentiate between the hot water system. Now this is electric hot water system. Now electric hot water system always comes in a cylindrical shape like this. Okay. They usually don't have an instantaneous tank like this. All these instantaneous hot water system are usually run on gas. You will hardly see any any instantaneous hot water system where it's running on electricity. Most of the time, if customer has an old electric hot water system, it will look like this, and it's always cylindrical in shape. And most importantly, if it's electric, it will mention here, on the tank itself, it will mention electric hot water system. If it's gas, again, it will mention on the tank itself, gas hot water system, instant hot water system. It's all mentioned, written on the tank itself. Solar hot water system. So this is how it looks. Now, it has a tank, and it will have a small booster. Now, with the help of this booster, the booster is attached to the solar panels, and that's how it hits the water, right? So sometimes you will also see, even if it's a tank, even if it's hot water tank, or gas hot water or electric hot water, sometimes you will also come across customer who have a booster, something like this, which is attached to the tank or which is on top of the tank. So with the help of the booster, they can get extra, hot water. So this is how it looks, the different types of hot water system, just for your understanding. But like I said, we will be discussing in details about the heat pump. So we'll start with the heat pump. What's the time now? It's 1:30. Do you guys want to go for lunch break?
Yes, if I can do it now. Or 2 o'clock is also fine for us.
Yeah, is half an hour okay for you guys for your lunch? Or you need more than that?
2 o'clock would be a better.
Okay. Whoever said that needs to speak up. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, Manoj here. I'm saying that I'm comfortable with 2 o'clock.
Well, everyone has to be on the same page.
Yeah, exactly.
Fortunately. So who majority wins, every time. So
Yeah, we can go at 2 and we can come back at 2:30 if I'm.
okay, for your kind information, today we start off the training late. However, the training will get over today's schedule. I'm talking about today's schedule. It will get over by 2:30. So yeah, 2:30.
Oh. Got
Session.
it. Good. So then we can speak now and quickly come back.
Does everyone agree with that? Or
Yeah, it's okay. We can go now.
all right, so it's 12:38 by my watch. Come back at. Just go ahead and take 40 minutes of break for your lunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Be back in next 40 minutes then.